nuclear program under further scrutiny. The UN's nuclear watchdog says Iran in violation as it refuses to stop enriching uranium to make nuclear fuel and plans to build a new enrichment site. President Trump says he won't let Iran build weapons, and there are reports Israel may be ready to attack Iran's nuclear sites. It's been quiet early this morning in Los Angeles. A curfew in place downtown a second night as the anger over illegal immigration raids spreads.
We saw protests last night in Seattle, in Las Vegas, in San Antonio, Texas, and of course in New York City. If there is any good news to all of that, it's that law enforcement in all of those cities appeared to have a good handle on the protests, none of which really got out of hand in the way that we have seen some of the protests here in L.A.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. Marines will soon join National Guard troops President Trump deployed. He just posted on Truth Social, without the military, Los Angeles would be a crime scene like we haven't seen in years. Well, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is fighting that deployment as illegal and immoral in federal court, inflaming the situation. There'll be a hearing on that today. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Harvey Weinstein has been found guilty again in New York City at his sexual assault and rape retrial after his first convictions were overturned on appeal. But the former movie producer was also acquitted on another count, and deliberations continue.
A rape allegation by accuser Jessica Mann is still under discussion by the jury, but 2 counts of forcing criminal sex acts have all jurors in agreement. It said Miriam Haley's claim against Weinstein was proven, and it gave her hope.
That there is new awareness around sexual violence, and that the myth of the perfect victim is fading.
And while another victim, Kaya Sokola's claim was denied, she focused on another outcome.
I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that standing here right now will give courage to others to speak up.
Weinstein's defense attorneys have called for a mistrial, citing tension and threats among the jury. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Later this hour, we'll get another inflation report at the wholesale level. The day after a report showing less than expected inflation of consumer prices in May. On Wall Street, stocks could drop down. Futures have been down more than 200 points. In the basketball playoffs,
the Pacers defeated the Thunder 116-107 in Game 3 of the NBA Finals Wednesday night, taking a 2-1 lead in the series.
The Pacers' dream of their first NBA title very much alive. They're 2 wins away from a championship.
That was courtesy of ESPN. The Thunder, winners of an NBA best 68 games, had 19 turnovers, which Indiana turned into 21 points. The Pacers were led by Benedict Mathurin, who had a playoff career-high 27 points off the bench. Game 4 of the series is Friday night in Indiana. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Golf's third major tournament of the year underway this morning. The U.S. Open at Oakmont in Pennsylvania. Defending champ Bryson DeChambeau just teed off, so did Rory McIlroy. Scotty Scheffler, who won the PGA Championship last month, will play this afternoon. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Thursday morning. It is June 12th, 2025. You're in tune with News Radio for South Texas, the Valley's Morning News, with show producer Brent Cruz. We got AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nording on standby. He will tell us if there's any more rain in that forecast. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with you and family, driving around town, taking care of business. In the news, Governor Greg Abbott is deploying the National Guard to cities across Texas in anticipation of more anti-ICE protests. Guard members arrived in central Texas in San Antonio yesterday. There were some protests there last night. Officials in Austin have been notified that the National Guard will help state troopers handle planned protests this weekend if necessary. Protests are planned for big cities, Houston, Dallas, about 12 other cities in Texas will see some of those protests between now and the end of this weekend. Meantime, on the federal level, Immigration Customs Enforcement, they plan to deploy tactical units to big cities across the country ahead of expected protests this weekend. These special response teams will be deployed to places like Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, the nation's capital, other big cities. Similar teams have been deployed in recent days in Los Angeles and amid widespread violent anti-ICE demonstrations. It's 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. A bit of good news for veterans suffering from PTSD and mental health issues. Governor Greg Abbott has given his approval for a $50 million research program of a psychedelic drug that will hopefully help veterans dealing with traumatic brain injuries.
The cure-all plant-based drug is called ibogaine. Governor Abbott signed Senate Bill 2308 into law. It dedicates the $50 million in taxpayer money to research it.
That will seek approval of ibogaine as a medication for the treatment of opioid use disorder and other behavioral health conditions, especially those suffered by our veterans.
The hope is it will lead to a successful clinical trial and FDA approval. State Senator Tan Parker authored the bill.
This is about the opportunity to restore the lives of so many veterans that have put their lives on the line for all of us.
Texas would get a cut of the money if the research leads to a drug.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Folks who have been following the effectiveness of ibogaine, saying that it works presently, veterans who know about this, they've been going to Mexico to clinics that provide ibogaine. It's 7:08 on the Valley's Morning News, and the Texas Department of Transportation inviting you to an in-person conversation to discuss improvements to FM 1015. So the state wants to widen FM 1015 between Mile 12 and Mercedes and Highway 107 and Ed Couch. There's a 5 p.m. meeting scheduled for today at Santiago Garcia Elementary School in Ed Couch, and there will also be some virtual meetings online. Coming up right after AccuWeather, an alliance between Aggies and folks in Saudi Arabia when it comes to clinical trials. That's right after AccuWeather. Meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine joining us. Time is coming up on 7:09. I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch. You having a hard time finding something for Dad? They probably have what you need, what you're looking for, what Dad actually wants for Father's Day, more than just like a tie or something like that. And, put some creativeness and imagination into it. Put some effort. Go to Martin Farm and Ranch. More than likely, they have what Dad wants right there. Go say hi to Dougie if you stop by. Meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine joining us. So what do you say, Jeffy? Chance of rain today, tomorrow? What's in the forecast?
Well, we have a small, maybe spitting chance at a spotty thunderstorm today. Otherwise, going to be sunny in general at mid-90s to low 100s. And then we have a stretch of sunny, dry weather tomorrow and Saturday, mid-90s to low 100s again. Sunday, same temperatures. We reintroduce the spotty thunder shower in the afternoon. Same thing Monday as well.
Hey, a reminder to all the duffers out there. You guys need to respect the bad weather if it's in the forecast. You should see some rolling clouds and lightning. Get off that golf course. There was a report from North Texas near Dallas. A golfer died and another one sent to the hospital as a result of a lightning strike at a golf course about 50 miles away from downtown Dallas. It was a 70-year-old father who survived. I think his 40-year-old son was killed as a result of that lightning strike.
Do golf courses in Texas have the lightning alert system?
Man, I don't know because
I'm always curious about that.
No, that's a good question. I hate
we
golf.
have them.
Yeah, I hate golf. I don't golf, so I don't know. But I'm sure somebody tuning in right now does. Sergio at KURV.com, Sergio at KURV.com. Send me a thumbs up or down on that one. Texas travel, what you got for today?
Texas travel is going to be wet and stormy, Dallas area through tomorrow. Some of that could be on the heavier side, leading to flooding concerns. Temps in the low 80s to low 90s. Today in Houston, very heavy rainfall, flash flooding issues. In fact, there are flood watches and warnings pretty much across central Texas and into Houston area. So just be aware of that if you're heading north and northeast. For San Antonio, showers and storms today could lead to flooding as well, and then it lightens up tomorrow and Saturday.
Tropical coverage 2025. What do the computers say today?
Empty once again through June 26th, unfortunately, for the Atlantic Basin. Even the Pacific has quieted down. Barbara and Cosme dissipated. Tropical rainstorm Invest number EP93 has been developing south of Mexico, and we're keeping an eye on it to further develop into a depression or a storm by this weekend, and a low risk for Central America, South Mexico later next week. So Atlantic, nothing. Pacific, next to nothing, but there are a couple things out there.
All right, pal. Let's see what's on the menu for today. Beef jerky. There you go. We got some beef jerky
nice.
On the menu. I would recommend, if you guys travel up to Houston, again, I say this as often as I can, there's a place called Proshex. Thank you, Freddie. It's in Hilgi, Texas, Wharton County. Proshex barbecue place, smokehouse. And anyway, the beef jerky there. And don't forget the little pecan pie tarts that they put.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff. Let's see what else. Peanut butter. They also have peanut butter cookies there at Proshex because they have a full bakery. So peanut butter cookies on the menu for today as well.
Nice.
All
Love
right.
those.
Yeah. It just, heads up in case you got anybody around you with a peanut allergy. Yeah. Don't eat that around them. All right, pal. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on 710 KURV. The time is 7:13. Texas A&M announcing a first ever alliance for medical clinical trials between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia.
An associate professor in A&M's College of Medicine, who also founded a biotech company, has invented a cell therapy treatment that shows strong promise for treatment of ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. The cell therapy uses umbilical cord blood to treat inflammation at the center of a number of hard-to-beat or untreatable diseases. As trials begin in Saudi Arabia, Dr. Simrat Parmar seeking funding for larger research studies of ALS patients in the United States. She also hopes to have FDA approval in about 2 years to use the treatment on other diseases, including aplastic anemia.
It's 7:13 on the Valley's Morning News. That's reporter Bill Oliver. Now, Bill McLean on hundreds of Texas organizations pleading with Texas Senator John Cornyn and Texas Senator Ted Cruz to reject any proposed cuts to food stamps, the SNAP program.
Some $300 billion budgeted for the SNAP program, once known as food stamps, is on the congressional chopping block. But a coalition of more than 250 Texas food banks, retailers, religious, and health groups are asking our two senators for support. Leaders of Feeding Texas say proposed cuts would immediately cause widespread hunger, further straining already strapped government budgets and nonprofit groups. They say cutting that lifeline for millions of Texans will ripple through the economy, as many are already forced to choose between food, medicine, and other basic necessities.
Social Security cost of living adjustment could go up about 2.5% in 2026. Of course, it is tied directly to the inflation numbers across the country. And the eating champion. This is first. Had you heard, Freddie, this guy, they call him Jaws, Joey Chestnut? That's the first time I hear that they call him Jaws.
I think they did call him that.
Okay, well, I missed that one. So Jaws, Joey Chestnut, might return to that famous Coney Island hot dog eating competition.
Joey Chestnut is said to be in talks to return to the 4th of July competition after being banned in 2024 due to a sponsorship issue. Chestnut has won the prestigious eating event 16 times, and he holds the record of 76 hot dogs munched down in 2021. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
76 hot dogs. But see, the only difference between Joey Chestnut and yours truly, I could probably eat 76 hot dogs if you got plenty of mustard.
Yeah.
Is that he eats it within, what is it, like 10 minutes?
Yeah, something like
that. It's time. Yeah. Give me about 3 hours and I'll take care of it.
No, I don't know about that. You know what I would do?
What?
I would enter the contest and just bring my own little chili, my own little mustard pack, and just eat one at a time.
Yeah.
You got to hurry up, sir. No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Happily.
Yes.
Slowly.
Maybe two and a half, and then that's it.
You got to savor the hot dog.
Yes.
That's the whole idea. Take your time, savor it.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling my little one, Elam, my 12-year-old. Dude, stop drinking your food. Vato, slow down.
Yeah.
Like, chew it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. That's part of being alive. Anyway. So I hope he goes back. Actually, I hope they someday that they ban competitive eating. I've said this. That's gluttony, but that's yeah.
Yes, but then they banned competitive eating. The terrorists have won. This is America, man.
I
do
said
what we want to do here.
Yeah, I said I hope he comes back, and then I immediately regretted it because the images, the video of him like stuffing his mouth and just swallowing the hot dogs came to mind. Said, no, that's just wrong. They got people starving all over the place. This guy's eating 76 hot dogs in like 10 minutes. Time is 7:16. This is the Valley's Morning News on Newstalk 710 KURV. Great program for teenagers in the McAllen area. They call it Teen Court. I'm going to share with you a conversation I had with the local municipal judge on how your kids could be involved in a jury, pretend lawyers as well, meting out punishment for teens who misbehave in the area. That's interesting. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic, available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in McAllen at 956-803-0058 and Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
If you're looking for the perfect fitness equipment for your home or business, look no further. Hess Fitness Products has the largest selection of fitness equipment and accessories. From unique pieces you won't find at big box stores to expert consultations that'll ensure the right fit for you. Hess has it all. Enjoy white glove delivery, in-house service, and the best price guarantee. Come meet Edgar Santana and his team for personalized solutions and equipment with the best warranties in the industry. Remember, health is wealth. Visit HessFitness.com. That's HessFitness.com. Look better, feel better, do more.
Brian Kilmeade here. After my show, weekday afternoons at 2, stay tuned for the 956 Drive Home with Zach and Davis starting at 4 on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV is your go-to radio station in the Valley. In the event we have a hurricane headed this way, it's Tropical Coverage 2025. Big thank you to our many supporters, including good folks over at McAfee Insurance, Lee's Pharmacy, North and South McAllen. Big thank you to Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC. This sounds like a fascinating program there at it again in McAllen. Applications for volunteer teen judges, teen attorneys for municipal court in McAllen. Their teen court being accepted, those applications being accepted. Lauren Sepulveda is our presiding judge over McAllen Municipal Court. Welcome to the program, Judge. So give me the backstory, the history of this teen court, how it functions, and what the teens will be doing and when.
Okay. So when I took office in 2021, we were in the middle of the COVID pandemic. And before COVID hit, the previous judge, Judge Henley, had a teen court program. And that's allowed by state statute, where it gives teens an opportunity to get rid of any Class C charges they may have and avoid a conviction and possibly even reduce their fines. So when we were in COVID, that program kind of went away just because of the realities of what we were facing. And one of my first priorities when I got into office was I really wanted to make sure we brought that program back. And so through some generous help from the Texas Bar Foundation, we were able to secure a grant. And essentially what the program looks like here in McAllen is that any teen, so anybody that's enrolled in a secondary school or homeschooling secondary here in Texas, or is under the age of 18 would qualify for the program if they have not completed it within the last year. And if they get a ticket for a traffic violation or for some other Class C misdemeanor, what they can do is they can sign up for teen court. And in this program, they will be represented by teen attorneys who will argue their cases to a teen jury.
Okay.
Yeah. And so instead of kind of punishing them by charging them a large fine, like some of our speeding fines are around $250 to $350. What we do instead is we charge them a $20 program fee per charge, so they're saving quite a bit of money. They get their their case argued to a teen jury by a teen attorney. And then the teen jury returns a verdict where they have to do community service or tutoring and also serve as a juror on other teens' cases, and then they get their case dismissed. Wow. So I think it's a really fun way to have these teens keep their records clean, but take some accountability and responsibility for what they may be charged with. And then also we've seen it's a great avenue to get kids interested in the criminal justice system.
Judge for our municipal court of McAllen, Lawrence Sepulveda, our guest. Teen court, they're taking applications for teen attorneys and judges. So tell me about the response. You got a lot of people calling in, emailing you, wanting their kids to participate in this?
Yes, so we've already had over 25 applicants this cycle, and we've been doing this for 2 cycles now. We just graduated our first group of senior volunteers this past year, and it's been a great time with the kids. We really enjoyed the program throughout the last year, but we're really looking to build on it. And I know that other communities are really interested in the program that we're doing, and so we want to make sure to just get as many teens involved as we can. I think we're honestly building up some of our future judges, future lawyers, and future law enforcement officers through this program. So it gives them a way to come in early, learn what the system looks like, participate in the system, and really develop their advocacy skills.
Tell me about the offenses that some of these teens are facing. What comes to mind, you mentioned traffic, but I was thinking, well, graffiti would be one. Maybe a petty theft, or they take a candy bar from the store or they get arrested for something like that. So tell me about some of the cases that some of these kids have seen and the punishments that are meted out.
Okay. So basically, it's going to cover anything that's a Class E. So, our more traditional traffic violations, but as you said, also thefts under $100, a minor possession of vape or e-cigarettes. That's a big one that we see a lot. Minor possession of alcohol, anything that's going to be a fine-only offense. Class C's assaults, so assaults where there's no bodily injury. And they all qualify on that program. Our prosecutor with the city attorney's office screens them, sees if they qualify. And then the charges or the tickets they face are actually on a grid system. So, more serious offenses like assault, family violence, or minor possession of vape or tobacco is going to be higher, and they're going to face higher ranges of community service or tutoring hours and more terms as a juror. While some of the offenses that are maybe we consider a little less serious, stuff like driver's license restrictions violations, those will face a lower penalty range. So there's kind of a grid system, and we let the kids know right away if they're going to participate in the program, where they're going to fall on that grid system, so they at least have a general idea of how much they're looking at.
So as the offenders move through this teen court in McAllen and they get, I guess, convicted of whatever it is that they did, they have a criminal record now? Or is this like a little pretend court on the side where you receive a punishment, but the the offense will not be part of a permanent criminal record? Does it work like a normal court?
The second one.
Okay.
So it's actually a way to avoid a conviction. So as long as they complete their what they get from the teen jury, their case is dismissed.
Okay.
So they avoid a conviction, and once they turn 18, then their record becomes sealed, and they're all right.
Okay.
Now, if they mess up, like let's say they get a sentence from a teen jury and they don't complete it, which I will say after the last year we know happens very rarely. Then that case would convert to a conviction, and they would owe the original full fine on the offense. But we've had very few of those. Most of our kids have finished the program.
Great to hear. That is awesome. I was going to check with you, like how many kids actually walk straight from that point, scared straight from that point onward, and do not offend. So what would you say? 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, or what?
I would say even higher than that. I think we've had probably about 95% of our kids that have gone through the program graduate successfully. The ones that we haven't, it's either been by non-compliance, meaning they just failed to do what they were asked to do, or they picked up additional charges after they pled on 15 court and got their
You got those malias in there that you never know. How about, so the punishment will be community service or something like that. That's what they have to complete. Okay, right? That's what they do? Okay.
Community service, tutoring, maybe classes depending on the type of offense, but we let them know ahead of time.
Okay. Force a big brother to play with little sister with her dolls and tea sets or something like that. You have to sit there and behave and be nice to you. How about no pizza for 90 days? I was thinking like some other harsh punishment, like no VR games, like for 3 months, right? No Dave and Buster's visitations, put an ankle monitor. You can't get anywhere near Dave and Buster's. Things like that, like real punishment, like creative punishment. Might want to tell the kids that.
We rely on the parents for those, but I will tell you that having spoken with the parents that go through the program, and I'm very glad to report that after a year doing this, we see that a lot of our McAllen parents are very invested in making sure that their kids go through this program successfully. It's not unusual, and most of our teen attorneys will argue during the trial that the parents have already given some sort of punishment to the kids, whether it's taking their car away or taking their phone away, taking away their game systems. And so we're very glad to see that parents are echoing what we're doing and enforcing the lessons that we're trying to impart on these.
I say, okay, Judge, we gave them the chancla already. So, okay, you pass out whatever you need to do. Again, real quick, how do folks contact you or sign up their kids to be part of the judge's attorney program, the teen court program that you have? How do they sign up?
Sure. If anyone's interested in applying, the City of McAllen did already send out a press release that includes a QR code that you can scan, or you can email our teen court coordinator, Ms. Flores, at aflores@mcallen.net, or contact the municipal court directly at 681-2900, and we can go ahead and get you access to the application.
Judge, thank you for your time. Our municipal judge in McAllen Court, Lauren Sepulveda. Be well. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News, News Talk 710 KURV. News the service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. The State Department is telling all non-essential staff to leave embassies in Iraq, also embassies in Kuwait and Bahrain, as tensions between the U.S. and Iran escalate. Heartbreaking story from overnight. In India, they say that many people were killed after a huge passenger jet that was going from India to London crashed shortly after takeoff. There were 242 souls aboard that flight. Back to Texas, Governor Greg Abbott is saying no taxpayer dollars for nonprofit organizations that help pay for bail.
Senate Bill 40, signed by Governor Greg Abbott, bans cities and counties from giving taxpayer money to nonprofits that pay for bail for anyone in jail. The law doesn't single out protesters. It applies to everyone who is arrested, regardless of the reason. But of course, the new law is getting tension in Texas here as protests over ICE raids have led to arrests. Nationally, obviously, the law is part of a broader debate about bail reform, but not specifically when we're talking about protests here.
That's Javier Walton with a TSN report. Big shakeups at the Health and Human Service Office might make it a bit more expensive for some folks in Texas to get vaccines.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. this week asked the 17 scientists who make vaccine recommendations to the CDC. Terry Burke is executive director of the Texas-based Immunization Partnership. She says this could mean insurers would no longer foot the bill if a vaccine is removed from the recommended schedule.
Do they incur the expense of the vaccination, or do they incur the expense of the hospitalization that will result in folks who get one of these vaccine preventable diseases?
She says the federally funded Vaccines for Children program could lessen the number of shots given. There are 5 million underinsured eligible kids in Texas. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
The White House saying that President Trump is going over the proposed trade deal with China. A spokesperson at the White House saying that President Trump likes what he's reading as far as the trade deal. We might wind up with over 50% tariffs on Chinese goods coming back to the U.S. The agreement is also releasing rare earth minerals from China for immediate delivery to our country. Tipping, folks that are waiters, waitresses, tipping for them is up slightly, according to a new report. The average tip is, now, is this what you do, Freddie? The average tip is close to 19.5%. You tip 20%, 25%?
Yeah.
10%? What do you tip?
Sometimes at 10%, 50% that they recommend is like, really? That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, we want to give them
it's
a little
north
bit
of
more.
15. So
yeah.
Okay,
and their kids are trying to make, some kind of living.
No, that's true. Well, they're not all kids. Some of these folks, that's their career, right?
Exactly.
That's how they pay the bills. A study, medical news that you need to know. There's a study that found that black colored plastic that is found in toys, in spoons, utensils, food packaging, black colored plastic could contain toxic levels of flame retardant. The problem comes from mistakes that are made in the recycling process for some of this plastic. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Astros did good last night. Won big against the Chi Sox. We got Game 3 of that series tonight. 6:40 broadcast on 710 KURV, your station for Astros baseball. Big thank you to the Mission Economic Development Office. Big thank you to Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women for Astros baseball on 710 KURV. Sports up next.
Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health.
From DHR Health, ENT specialist and dermatology specialist, Dr. Keith Piku.
We do a lot of skin cancers. Dermatologists do a lot of skin cancers in the head and neck area, elsewhere on the skin. The reason I do the ENT surgery is I like the surgery. It's kids with bad tonsils. If you got someone that's got a bad nose, not breathing well, and I can fix it. Everything that exists in the world with regards to dermatology and ENT exists down here. I've seen things like Chagas disease down here, leprosy down here. You don't see very much of it in the United States anymore. Usually you see it in third world countries like in Africa, India, places like that. It's seen down in South America and Central America. So some of those people wind up coming here, but it's supposedly spread here in the United States through the armadillos. Well, there's a lot of armadillos in Texas. I still remember one gentleman who saw me in Weslaco with all these nodules all over his skin. Well, we did a biopsy. He had lepromatous leprosy. Whatever comes in the office, I'm happy. The interesting thing is a lot of times I have a patient who comes in for both. Dermatology, ENT surgery too.
Dr. Keith Piku, ENT specialist and dermatology specialist, DHR Health.
This has been Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health. For you, for life.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
It's Houston Astros baseball as they host the Chicago White Sox. First pitch at 7:10 later this evening. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women, Mission Economic Development Corporation, and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
I'm Trevor Beck with your TSN Sports Minute. Astros dominated the White Sox last night after a struggling performance the night before. Altuve got his 2,300th hit and Christian Walker went yard.
The 1-0. That's hammered deep to left field, and you can kiss it goodbye. Onto the train tracks, a 2-run jack for Christian Walker and a 3-0 lead for the Astros.
Astros go again tonight at 7:10. And Rangers took the L last night 6-2, but Jack Leiter still showed off some quality stuff on the mound.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Worked him up the ladder on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and Wallner chased it. So that's the first punch-out for Leiter, second out of the inning.
While the Rangers are still looking to string some big offensive games together, it's good to know pitching is holding strong. Rangers play the Twins today at 12:10. I'm Trevor Beck with your TSN Sports Minute.
The Pacers got their act together in the fourth quarter. Rally beat the Thunder 116-107 to grab a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Benedict Mathurin scored a game-high 27 off the bench. Game 4 Friday in Indy. Bryson DeChambeau will be looking to defend his title when the U.S. Open tees off this morning from Oakmont. Oilers look to even the Stanley Cup final at 2 games apiece tonight against the Panthers in Florida. That's sports. I'm Rhonda Moss.
You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. AccuWeather says should be close to triple digits again today. Let's see, tomorrow, above triple digits tomorrow. So tomorrow and Saturday should be up to like 102. Same thing for Sunday. Border Bridge wait times on 710 KURV is posted on KURV.com. Let's see, we got some new numbers from Customs and Border Protection. So if you're driving back to McAllen, let's see here, not too bad, about 15 to 30 minutes at all three. And for Brownsville, same thing, 15 to 30 minutes for all three bridges for Brownsville. Thank you much for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV, 710 AM on your radio. Do the smartphone thing. Radio Para Mí is the free app. It's the app for Radio United stations. Radio Para Mí, download it and listen on your smartphone. Business news check of your money up next on 710 KURV.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
It is just a reality in our prosperous economy in South Texas. There's big demand for housing. Oh, my goodness. We got thousands of new workers in the area. All those hammers flying at the Port of Brownsville. Elon Musk bringing thousands of people here. LNG as well at the Port of Brownsville. And then, of course, there's the spinoff to all that. So if you're looking for a new home, yeah, that's not going to be easy. I know you're going to need some help. That's why you need to call the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Only team I'm calling to help me find a home, help me sell my home because, well, right now, finding a new home, it's not easy. And homes are, well, let's just face it, they're pricey as a result of the tight market. Lupita and Eduardo just found their dream home thanks to the Ryan and Brian real estate team and Elias, the real estate agent with the Ryan and Brian team. Very patient, helped them through the entire process, helped them find an Edwards home. Ryan and Brian team working with Edwards Homes, one of the top builders in our nation, and rates as low as 4.75% if you qualify. Start that conversation with the Ryan and Brian real estate team at 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. As President Trump's 90-day tariff pause nears its end, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is signaling fresh openness towards shifting the deadline. He said for any of the U.S. 18 important trading partners that are negotiating in good faith, the Trump administration could roll the date forward to continue negotiations. French President Emmanuel Macron has made a pitch for his country to manufacture the most advanced chips in the world. Macron laid his ambition out for France to be able to manufacture semiconductors in the range of 2 to 10 nanometers. Camera company Insta360 has gone public in Shanghai's tech-heavy star market in the board's largest raise to date. The company counts the U.S. as one of its biggest markets. It's a sign of how China-based companies are still eager to expand globally, despite geopolitical tensions. Futures are moderately lower. Wednesday, the Dow lost 1, the Nasdaq down 99, the S&P 500 down 16. Once again, futures are moderately lower. That's Your Money Now.
Online financial service company Chime, their initial public offering going at about $27. And how much bigger is grandma's check going to be? Social Security check, about 2.6%. Of course, this linked to inflation in the nation. AccuWeather says highs should be up to close to 100 today, up to 102 tomorrow. Your station for AccuWeather is Newstalk 710 KURV. Your station for tropical coverage 2025 is Newstalk 710 KURV. Got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes. Is your commercial building ready for tropical season? Man, all it's going to take is one gully washer to shut you down for Lord knows how many weeks, potentially. Got to fix that. leaky roof or maybe that weak roof. And see, that's the latter is the worst one. I'm happy to present to you good folks at Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing and my friend Dale Johnson, who I've talked about for years. Dale Johnson, top commercial roofer in the region, and he's bringing to us Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. You make sure that commercial roofing system of yours is waterproof. And as I told you, knowing that you have a leak, that's a problem. Not knowing that you have a weak commercial roof that is about to expose you to all that water coming into the building, shutting down production, ruining equipment, expensive equipment, and embarrassing you in front of your client. Called Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing, 125 plus years of experience, expanded services that we haven't seen before, valued warranties, cutting edge roof installation and repair technology for your businesses, all those buildings, even your home if you got one of those flat, low pitch roofs. And of course, the advanced waterproofing solutions I know that you need at your commercial sites, especially if you're building, you got something on paper you're about to build here. You need Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing. Call my friend Dale Johnson. Start that conversation at 956-655-6178.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or Amazon, or newnordicusa.com.
If you own a business, listen up. You've put in the work. You've built something great. And now it's time to think of the future. I'm Sergio Sanchez for the Rioplex Business Exchange, helping small business owners across the RGV connect with serious buyers online, privately, locally. The Rioplex Business Exchange at only $34 a month will list your business. That's right, only $34 a month to put your business on the radar of qualified investors. No commission, no middlemen. You will also get access to free resources to learn your business's value, whether you're ready to sell or just exploring your options. Get 1 month free subscription with a discount code KURV. Visit RioplexBizX.com. That's RioplexBizX.com. Post your business, secure your legacy. Rioplex Business Exchange, where legacies find their next chapter.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drtsprimary.care.com.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710, KURV, and KURV.com.
News Talk Authority of South Texas. This is the Valley's Morning News. It's news radio for South Texas. Fred Cruz, our producer. I'm Sergio Sanchez. We got AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on standby. You and family driving around town. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys. Ready to fight for you? Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. An air disaster in India. Fox's Greg Palcott in London.
7878 Dreamliner Boeing plane was taking off from a city called Ahmedabad. That is in the northwestern part of India. It crashed literally within about a minute after takeoff.
Local police reporting there appears to be no survivors. Destination London's Gatwick Airport. 53 of the more than 240 people on board were British. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer saying his thoughts are with the passengers and their families at this deeply distressing time. President Trump on Truth Social this morning posting, LA was safe and sound for the last 2 nights. Our great National Guard, with a little help from the Marines, put the LA police in a position to effectively do their job. A curfew in parts of downtown LA in effect until 6 a.m. local time. America's listening to Fox News.
Thanks for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. Discover us at Radio Para Mi. Download that free app and listen on your smart device. The U.S. is working to evacuate non-essential staff and their dependents from the embassy in Baghdad. The State Department also telling all non-essential staff to leave Iraq as tensions are flaring between the U.S. and Iran. Staff members are also being told to leave U.S. embassies in Kuwait and Bahrain. This comes as President Trump has threatened that the Iranian nuclear program might be hit militarily, likely not by the U.S., maybe by Israel, if talks to curb the Iranian nuclear program fail. In an interview a few days back, President Trump said that he has grown less confident that Iran would agree to stop enriching uranium. Governor Greg Abbott deploying the Texas National Guard ahead of the scheduled ICE detention protest throughout the state.
Governor Abbott took to social media saying the Texas National Guard will be deployed to locations across the state to ensure peace and order. We already know that the Guard is on standby in San Antonio for anti-ICE protest. The Guard also notified Austin Mayor Kirk Watson that it's prepared to assist with Saturday's scheduled No Kings protest of defiance.
Much of what we're seeing in Washington is meant to create fear. It's meant to create chaos. It's meant to get attention. I'm not going to play into the politics of fear.
Watson saying we must continue to assert First Amendment rights to peacefully assemble without creating negative consequences. In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Freddie, did you ever see that movie? I think it was a Prime movie on the birth of flaming hot Cheetos in California. Like
No,
the story
I
of
did
the guy and his family, they created stores. And then, of course, I think he worked for Frito-Lay. Anyway, long story short, Rancho Cucamonga, the plant where the flaming hot Cheetos were born, has shut down. And in fact, the employees said they really didn't get much notice. Last minute notice. Oh, we're shutting down. That's it. We're going to make the flaming hot Cheetos somewhere else. They gave them 10 weeks pay as they let them go. And today we celebrate beef jerky.
Jerky is seasoned meat, cooked low and slow. It needs no refrigeration, packed with protein and very few carbs. It's a go-to snack for about 40% of us, including astronauts. Competitive eater Joey Chestnut holds the world record for most beef jerky eaten in a contest, 11 pounds in 5 minutes. If you do that, you'll need to celebrate National Antacid Day, but that's not till December 30th. I'm Bree Tennis.
So it's a 5-minute clock. That's what it is, right? 11 pounds of beef jerky in 5 minutes. How does this guy not choke? That stuff is dry. Wow. Thank you much for joining us on the Valley's Morning News. Join us tonight, 6:40 pregame, Astros baseball on 710 KURV.
Hey friends, summer is calling. Is your car ready? Let's hit the road with confidence. At Pueblo Tires, we're all about keeping your car in tip-top shape so you can spend more time on the road and less time worrying about all your tires and mechanical problems. No credit, no problem. Don't let worn-out tires slow you down. Stop by today. Get your car ready for the best summer vacation ever. Pueblo Tires, Shampoozy. See store for details.
Shampoozy.com. Think tires. Think Pueblo.
Pain management specialist Dr. Dennis Slavin on shoulder pain.
Our website is feelingbetteratLast.com because that's what people say as they leave my office. They really are feeling better at last. Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Slavin with some solid advice on achy shoulders. Shoulder pain is very common, very severe, and often interferes with activities we enjoy, such as golf, tennis, fishing, doing chores, or even daily tasks like combing our hair. The good news is that most of the time, office-based, image-guided treatments provide superb pain relief, and followed by a specific home exercise program, can prevent the pain from returning, so you can be feeling better at last. Patients are amazed by the pain relief. They wonder why they waited so long to be feeling better at last. That's really the key phrase, what I specialize in. I'm good at getting you feeling better at last.
Summer is heating up, and so is our local economy. From sizzling business deals to community connections, News Talk 710 KURV and the Radio Potami app are here to keep you in the know. Download the Radio Potami app to stay informed and entertained. Whether it's local market updates, summer events, or the weather, we've got you covered. Support local, stay connected, and tune in to the pulse of Rio Grande Valley business. News Talk 710 KURV and the Radio